They found a rusty ship about 40 years old in the middle of the ocean. But even then, they didn't know anything about the history of that ship. If you went near that ship, people would disappear strangely. And almost often, a small child would be seen on that ship. But why? Is there a secret hidden in this ship? And why do people disappear strangely? Let's find out the secret of this 40-year-old rusty ship. The story starts in 1962, where we see a huge ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Its name is Antonio Graza. On this ship, a total of 600 passengers started their journey to New York. There was a party going on the ship, where a beautiful singer was singing and everyone was dancing with great fun listening to her songs. All the passengers on the ship were enjoying this beautiful moment, but they didn't know that in a few minutes, something was going to happen to them that would make your blood run cold. On that ship, we also see a little child named Katie. She was sitting and playing in a different place from everyone else. So the captain of the ship came and took her and made her dance with him. Just then, we see a mysterious person. A lever is lifted from the ship's engine room. Immediately, a sharp wire is pulled and goes through the bodies of all the people. The surroundings become completely silent. Everyone's bodies start to break into two pieces as they see it. Such a tragic scene, even though it is seen, it makes your blood run cold. There was only blood and blood all around. However, fortunately, the child named Katie survived. Because she was short, the wire went over. They were pulling a large ship with a tugboard. Suddenly, the old ship started to sink. Seeing this, team leader Murphy told one of his team's girls, Maureen, that she had to see what had happened to the ship. He sent her to the old ship so that Maureen could cut the wire that was being tied to the ship. Because if the old ship sank, their tugboard would sink with it and everyone would die. When Maureen went to the old ship, she found out that a small crack had formed in the bottom of the ship due to rust, which the ship is filling up quickly and the ship will sink in 5 minutes. Maureen tells Murphy about this. Hearing this, Murphy tells Maureen that we are pulling the ship with the rope. Just cut the rope and quickly get out of there and get back to the tackboard. Because we are going to leave this ship here. It is going to sink. Then, 2 more of the team go to Maureen, and they also tell Maureen to go out and leave the ship. But it took them 3 months to find this ship, so Maureen was not willing to leave this ship so easily. He jumps down into the water to fix the ship. Seeing this, the 2 people sitting on top jump into the water to help Maureen. These 3 somehow save the ship from sinking by welding its cracks before it sinks and somehow bring it to the shore. Then, they sold the ship in the markets and made a lot of money. Team leader Murphy divided the money equally among everyone. They went home and everyone had a drink and enjoyed themselves. At this time, a man named Jack had been watching them for a long time. He was listening to everything they said. He understood that they earn a lot of money by finding treasures and historical old things under the sea and selling them in the market. So, after listening to them for a while, the man named Jack came to Murphy and told him about a ship in which a lot of treasure was hidden. Jack introduced himself as a pilot of the Arctic weather flight, and a few days ago, a ship was caught on their camera. He researched and found out that there was a lot of gold on this ship. Jack was actually talking about the ship in which a mysterious man killed all the people on the ship 40 years ago. Murphy had heard about the ship Antonio Graza that was lost 40 years ago. However, many people have searched for this ship, but to this day, no one has found that ship. It seems to have disappeared strangely. Jack tells Murphy that he knows where the ship is in the sea, and if they take this ship and sell it in the market, they will become rich overnight. And fortunately, we can also find gold there. Hearing about a lot of money makes us cry, so everyone in the team is ready for this mission. And the next day, they take their tugboard and go out in search of the ship Antonio Graza, and Jack helps them in this task. After several days of traveling, they reach a very secluded place in the sea. where a team member receives a signal of a ship in the vicinity on their boat's radar. They realize that the ship that was lost 40 years ago is somewhere here. But there is only darkness around this deep sea. There is no good light at all. Suddenly, as they move forward a little, a huge ship comes in front of them, and this was the ship Antonio Graza, which we saw at the beginning of the story, and which had been lost somewhere in the sea for the past 40 years. Everyone is happy to see this ship because their dream is about to come true. By selling this ship, they will become a commodity, and if they get the gold, then there's nothing else to say. Now, the leader, Murphy, asks the two to stay on the dock, and he himself goes inside to examine the old ship with some companions. The ship was completely destroyed from the inside, and everyone felt strange. Very strange sounds were also heard throughout the ship, which was really scared. However, the treasure of the ship and the money they would get by selling the ship were on everyone's minds. Murphy told his companions to go ahead. They followed a sound and reached a large clock. Surprisingly, they saw that the hands of the clock were still moving. But suddenly, after a while, the hands of the clock stopped. Seeing this, they felt something strange. However, they did not pay much attention and went to examine the ship further. Inside, the ship was completely destroyed. Everything was broken, and the iron of the ship had fallen to rust. Suddenly, while going, the floor below collapsed and one of their companions was about to fall down. But just then, Maureen caught him, and when Maureen was pulling him up, he saw a girl standing on the stairs below. This girl was the little girl who survived alone on the ship 40 years ago, in 1962. Fortunately, the wire passed over her head that day, but surprisingly, she was still the same age after 40 years. But is this girl alive, or was this girl's spirit that? When Maureen saw the girl again, the girl suddenly disappeared somewhere. This means that the girl's spirit is roaming around this ship. However, Maureen thinks that it may be a mistake of her eyes. They somehow pulled her up. Maureen started to get scared now, but this ship was still to be tested. The ship was huge in size, so they started to see the ship better. As they walked, they reached the main cabin of the ship. The strange thing was that they found a digital clock there. They were really surprised to see it, because 40 years ago, there were no such digital clocks. But they clearly understand that someone must have been on this ship before they arrived. Somehow, when they saw the ship, everyone returned to their tack board, and Murphy decided that the next day they would tie the ship to the tack board. But the next day there was a problem. The next morning, they carefully examined the bottom of the ship and found there were some pretty big cracks in the ship, and they were caused by rust, which is why the ship is slowly sinking. Murphy says that it is not possible to tie the ship to the tack board in this condition because the ship is filled with a lot of water. The weight of the ship has increased a lot. So it would be foolish to tie this old ship to the tack board, and besides, they did not find any treasure on this ship the day before. Maybe they have wrong news, but the rest of the team did not agree, especially Jack. He said loudly, "I know there is treasure in this ship." Hearing this from Jack, they wanted to search the ship thoroughly once again. For this reason, they decided that first they would weld the crack in the ship, and then drain all the water inside the ship and drag it with a tuckboard, and go. The plan seemed quite right to them. As a result, everyone started working on their own to take the ship. Some started fixing the crack in the ship, and some started looking for the treasure inside the ship. Maureen started moving around the ship, and while going, he reached a swimming pool. He was surprised to see the swimming pool, because there were many bullet marks in the swimming pool, and many bullet casings were also there. When Maureen saw the swimming pool and came up, suddenly he saw the girl, and she was shocked and fell straight into the swimming pool, and her head hit the swimming pool floor and started bleeding. At that moment, the swimming pool mysteriously absorbed her blood. When Maureen looked up again, the girl was not there. She had disappeared, but Jack was standing there. Jack helped Maureen out of the swimming pool. After getting out, Maureen told Jack that she had just seen a girl, but where had she suddenly disappeared to? Jack tells Maureen that it might be your mind's fault. There's nothing here. But can his eyes be wrong twice? Anyway, they both leave and as soon as they leave, the swimming pool is completely filled with blood. On the other hand, Murphy finds the captain's room of the ship. When he enters the room is in a very bad condition. After looking for a while, he doesn't find much there. But when Murphy's eyes fall on the table, he sees a bottle of wine and a glass of wine on the table. It looks like someone has just drunk wine. Murphy picks up the glass without thinking and starts drinking. That's when his eyes fall on the mirror in front of him, and in the mirror, Murphy sees the captain of this old ship. He is completely shocked. The glass of wine falls from his hand, and he doesn't stand there anymore and leaves in fear. Strange things were happening to everyone on the ship. A team member named Mark heard the sound of a lady singing on the ship. He followed the sound and reached the ground area of the ship. There was a burning cigarette and lipstick on the cigarette. This meant that someone must be here. Just then, we actually see the old lady singer from 40 years ago, the singer that we seen at the beginning of the story. However, Mark cannot see her. On the other hand, as Maureen and Jack move forward, whenever a gate leading out of the laundry room in front opens, all the water that has accumulated inside comes out, in which there were many dead bodies. Suddenly, the gate on the opposite side automatically closes. Murphy and Jack run away from there in fear. From there, they go to another room. In that room, Jack sees a very luxurious old car. It can be sold for a lot of money, but Murphy feels something is wrong here, so he wants to leave there without wasting any more time. Just then, they see something moving in another room. As they move forward in fear, they remove the thing from above. Their eyes filled with tears. They couldn't believe they would find something like that, because there was a box full of gold. This meant that Jack's words were true. Seeing this, Maureen quickly called the rest of her team members here, and when everyone arrived here, after removing the things, they found 9 such boxes. Each box had 28 gold plates. Not everyone has a happy address anymore, because they all became rich overnight. After finding such a huge treasure, they decided that they would leave this ship here and only take the gold from here, because if they sold the amount of gold they had found, they would be able to sit and eat for the rest of their lives. Then they put all the gold boxes from that ship on their tackboard. Now that they have found the treasure, they have no business here. They start preparing to leave. They start checking the engine room to start the captain board that runs the tugboat, but at that time, we see that the cylinder valve kept in the boat is automatically turned on, due to which gas is released into the air in a short time. On the other hand, Marin sees the girl once again, who was running towards him at a fast pace, as if she wanted to say something to Marin, but then someone grabs her and pushes her down. Meanwhile, Mark starts the engine. At that moment, the gas coming out of the cylinder causes a huge explosion in the whole boat. As a result, the captain of the tugboat unfortunately burns to death. The entire tugboat sinks. Somehow, Murphy saves Mark. Now they are stuck in an old ship in the middle of the ocean. They cannot communicate with anyone outside, because the entire radio system has sunk into the water along with the tugboard. So they were very worried about how they would get back from here alive. Mark felt sad when he saw the picture of his future wife, because they were supposed to get married in just 2 weeks, and now he felt that they would never be able to get back from this ship alive. He collapsed with various thoughts and started drinking a wine that was many years old. On the other hand, Maureen was worried about one thing. Why did he keep seeing that girl again and again? What secrets are hidden on this ship? These questions can no longer keep her still. For this reason, Maureen started trying to find out about that girl. She started checking all the names of the passengers in the ship's old documents, from which she learned that the girl he was seeing was named Katie. Then, as Morden was walking down the corridor looking for his room, suddenly every gate opened automatically, and there was a sound from one of the rooms, as if someone was guiding him. Just then, the gate of a room opened, and this was the little girl's room. There were little dolls and lots of children's clothes lying around. When he opened the closet, he was shocked. Inside it was the body of a little girl hanging. He never imagined that he would see something like this. Somehow, Maureen controlled himself and opened the locket hanging around the skeleton's neck, and it had a picture of the little girl's parents in it. Just then, Katie's spirit called to him from behind. He was shocked. Katie told him not to close the locket, After many years, he saw his parents. Seeing all this, Maureen still couldn't believe that she was talking to a dead girl. And when she went to give the locket to Katie, the locket fell into Katie's hands. This time, Maureen believed that this girl was not a person, but a spirit. Katie told Maureen that there are many more souls trapped on this ship, and that these souls will not be able to be freed from here until the man who was holding all these souls is killed. Maureen asked Katie who the man who was holding you is. As soon as Katie went to tell Maureen about the man, suddenly some strange things started coming out on the ceiling, which started spreading throughout the house. Seeing this, Katie got scared, and she told Maureen that you should escape from this ship as soon as possible, or you will all die. Then Katie disappears. On the other hand, Mark starts to feel dizzy after drinking the entire bottle of wine. Suddenly, all the tables and chairs around him start moving. Everything around him seems to be fixed and new. And the people who died on this ship 40 years ago are seen standing alive in front of Mark again, who start clapping towards Mark. At first, Mark also finds it strange, but then it seems like this might be all because of the wine. Maybe he is seeing things wrong, but the next moment, the singer comes to Mark and he starts getting intimate with Mark. The lady singer completely subdues Mark and puts him behind him. Mark also starts following her without thinking. Stupid Mark does not understand that this singer has trapped him, and none of them are alive. The lady singer stood at the very edge of the ship and called Mark towards her. As Mark moved towards her in his greed for Singer, he fell from above and died. On the other hand, Murphy was shown sitting in the captain's room of this ship. At that moment, he saw that the bottle of wine on the table started to move on its own. Suddenly, the spirit of the ship's captain appeared in front of him. Seeing this, Morin was quite nervous. Then, the captain of the ship asked him to pour wine into the glass and drink it. At the same time, he showed her a picture. The picture was of an old ship. The ship's name was Lorelei. The captain said that many years ago, a man came to us at sea. He was a passenger on the Lorelei ship, and he told us in his ship's words. He said that the Lorelei ship was in danger and had started to sink. However, there were many treasures hidden in that ship. When we rescued the Lorelei ship, we really found all that treasure. But no one was left alive on that ship. They were all dead except for that one person. Then the captain showed Murphy a picture of that person and said, "This is the man who told us that the Lorelei ship is on the ship. There is treasure." Murphy was completely shocked to see the picture of that man because that man was none other than Jack, and this picture was 40 years old. Even after 40 years, he still hasn't changed in age. In the picture, he looked exactly the same as he does now. So Jack is, who can he be? And a person can't have been alive for so many years. Murphy realizes that Jack is not a human. He might be a devil. Knowing this, Murphy quickly wants to get his team out of the ship. He quickly starts looking for his companions, but suddenly, a burnt human spirit comes in front of him, and it is the captain of their postcard who died in the explosion due to a gas leak. Murphy now starts to believe the whole ship is cursed. Once a person is here, he cannot get out. He starts to approach Murphy. Murphy starts to run to save himself, but then Maureen comes in front of him. The spirit immediately disappears, but Murphy sees the face of the dead captain in Maureen's face. So Murphy thinks she is a spirit and attacks her to save his life. Maureen hits her leg to save herself, but Murphy doesn't stop. He gets up to attack Maureen again. But just then, before he can kill Maureen, Jack comes from behind and hits Murphy on the head with an iron rod, knocking him unconscious. But nobody knew that Jack was a devil except Murphy. No, we will find out that he had some evil intentions at the end of the movie. Jack also realized that Murphy had found out all his truth, so he started inciting everyone against Murphy to get him out of his way. He said that if Murphy regains consciousness, he could harm us again, so we should lock him up somewhere. By saying this, he convinces everyone that his words are right, so they lock Murphy up in a tank. Now they have to get out of here alive somehow, but there is no way out. Their tugboat has already sunk. What will they do now? They discuss this issue for a while and decide that they will repair this ship and get out of here anyway, and now this is the only way to get out of here alive. They start working on repairing the ship according to the plan. They quickly welded the rusty part of the ship where the water was coming in by welding it shut, and with the help of the pump, they started pumping out all the water accumulated inside the ship. Murphy then saw that one of their members was missing. Where is Mark? He has not been seen for a long time. So Murphy went out to look for him. At that moment, the spirit of that little girl appeared before him again. She said that the one you are looking for is dead. He is no longer alive. Saying this, she showed him her dead body. Mark fell from the top, hoping to find the lady singer, and died. Katie told her that she wanted to show you something. Saying this, as soon as she put her hand on Maureen's shoulder, she left that night in 1962, the day these events happened. That night, everyone on the ship was brutally murdered, and all this was done by a group whose purpose was to steal all the gold on the ship. Many people have been killed by poisoning this group of food. And some people were cut into 2 pieces with sharp wires, and some were shot in the swimming pool and beaten to death. Katie could not escape this brutality. They took Katie to her room and hanged her in the closet. Behind all this was Lady Singer, who had made this whole plan to loot the gold, and with the help of her people, she killed all the people present on the ship so that they would become the owners of all the gold. The officer of the ship was also in agreement with Lady Singer. At the behest of Lady Singer, she also killed her own companions. But she did not know what the real secret was. As soon as she turned around, Lady Singer shot her too. That Lady Singer thought that all this gold was hers now, because everyone present on the ship was dead. But then a mysterious man appeared. Who was the mastermind of this whole game? Lastly, he hanged the Lady Singer with an iron chain. Maureen was watching everything, and that's when she saw the mysterious person. Maureen was surprised to see him, because that person was none other than Jack, who had brought them here with the greed for gold. And that's what he did in 1962. He created the greed for gold in everyone and made them kill each other. Similarly, they were also brought to this ship. Also, the ship was slowly sinking due to big leaks in the ship. So, to fix the ship, some people were needed who could save the ship from sinking. So Jack cleverly brought them here, and now the ship was completely fixed. So Jack didn't need these people anymore, so he wanted to kill everyone now. Realizing all this, Maureen remembered. They hear Jack and lock Murphy in the tank. Maureen quickly runs to him to save his life, but by then he has died because the tank is full of water. She tries to break the tank to save him. However, since the tank is very strong, she cannot. Murphy dies. Maureen does not hesitate and runs to another friend named Doss. Murphy tells Doss all the truth about Jack and says that you will shoot Jack wherever you see him. At that time, he does not see their other friend Munder, because he went to fix the pump under the water because it was broken. As soon as Maureen fears this, she quickly runs, because she knows that all this is Jack's trick. Meanwhile, shortly after Maureen leaves, Jack comes in front of Doss. As Maureen says, Doss tells Jack to stand there. From his place, don't move at all. We know all your truths. Hearing this, Jack realizes that Maureen has told him all her truths. Then, Jack tries to deceive Doss with words and snatch the gun with a torch. But Doss understands Jack's trick and immediately shoots Jack. As a result, Jack is thrown away. Doss thinks he may be dead, thus he leaves from there. However, Jack is not dead yet. He is the devil. He does not die. On the other hand, Maureen sees a tragic scene when she reaches there to save Munder. Due to the water filling the engine room, while filling it, the engine suddenly starts, and he gets stuck in that engine and his body is cut into many pieces. All the members of their team are dead, except Doss and Maureen, and all this is happening because of this ship. Maureen understands that, so he decides he will completely destroy this ship. Thinking this, he starts fitting bombs in every corner of the ship. Just then, Doss comes to him. Doss tells Maureen that he has killed Jack. Hearing this, Maureen says that Jack will not die. He is immortal, because Jack is not human. We have to destroy this entire ship so that Jack cannot bring any other people like us here and trap them. And all the souls that Jack has imprisoned in this ship will be freed. Strange thing is, Doss here gets angry and starts explaining to Maureen that we should not destroy the ship. Why should we destroy the ship? If we do this, all the gold kept in the ship will be destroyed. Then we will go back empty-handed without getting any gold. Maureen says that this gold is actually a trick of Jack. We will never be able to take this gold from here, so I have to destroy this ship anyway. It turns out it's not Doss, but it's Jack. Jack realizes that Murphy won't listen to him anymore, so Jack returns to his original form. This means that Jack killed Doss too. Jack tells him that I collect souls just like you collect ships that are stranded at sea. I keep them as slaves. And all this, I do it for the demons. At first, I was human, but after I died because of many sins, the demons gave me this job. My job is to make people commit sins and kill them and collect their souls and deliver them to the demons. And this is what I did with the ship called Lorelei. I did the same with Antonio Grazia. I work as a soul collector for the demons. And if this ship is destroyed, my mission will be incomplete. So don't destroy this ship. He gives Maureen a chance to leave. I won't kill you, but in return, you have to give up this ship. But the Marine wouldn't listen to him, so Jack hit him on the head with an iron rod, and he fell down. Jack tried to choke him underwater, but luckily he somehow managed to escape. He found an arrow nearby, and without wasting any more time, he aimed it at the bomb remote. He immediately jumped into the water. This caused a huge explosion in the ship. The ship started to fill with water due to the powerful explosion. The ship started to sink, and Murphy got stuck in the water. He couldn't see any way out. He started to gasp for breath. But then Katie's spirit came. She took the Marine's hand and showed him the way to the surface. Then Marine saw that all the souls that Jack had imprisoned had been released, and they were released and started going towards heaven. Somehow, Marine came out of the water with great difficulty. In fact, all the souls that were imprisoned here were Jack's slaves. However, only Katie's soul and the captain of the ship could not become his slaves, because they were very holy and good people, because of which Jack could not control them much. That is why Katie and the captain's souls were able to help them repeatedly. Marine floated on the sea with the help of some kind of box. The night passed, and morning turned into morning. And fortunately, a ship saw her floating and rescued her. When she was brought to the port, she saw a terrible scene from her ambulance. Jack, who was still alive and was taking all the gold that was on the ship to another ship so that he can kill people again with the lure of gold and capture their souls. With this, the movie ends here. So friends, how did you like the movie? Please tell us your opinion in the comments. If you have any difficulty understanding the video, you can ask questions in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. And to see such movie explanations, stay connected to our channel and keep watching Filmy Gossip, the channel of movie loves.